Okay, so I've taken the shroud coverings off each side. There's this tube, and then that's in there, and then it's all duct taped in, so it takes a little bit of time. So black right side, gray left side from earlier. Then we've got on the bottom black, that's ground, that's your running light, and then this one green, that'll be your signal source. And then on the other side black is the bottom, your running light, and then your signal source. I've stripped the black here, and now I'm gonna find the right, because this is the right side, so I'm finding the right signal, which isn't this one, it's this one. There. So then I want to know how long I want these to be before I start. So on the bike there was maybe that much room, so if I got this wire in here, well, that's enough already. I want to leave myself some extra because I can just fold it in, so I'm going to cut it at about here. Okay, now if you want to use their shroud cover here, you can. It will not fit over the connector, so you have to do it with it in there. The best way to do that is to just take it off, cut it down, so I'll probably cut it about there, and then use a shrink wrap or another kind of wrap up for this stuff here. So cut it down there, slip this back in. Okay, now strip the black. Alright, so what you want to do now is get some heat shrink. You want to use heat shrink that is about twice as big as the wire, as when it shrinks you still have to go over your connection. Right side, black, right side. So there's many different ways of doing this. If you have a way that works for you, then don't change. My way is fan it out like this, fan this guy out, put the fans over top of each other, twist like that. Get your flux ready. Just put your flux on the wire, then holding these two in one hand. Oh, I'm not going to be able to do that. Put this down. You don't want it to unravel when you do. You don't want to burn anything when you do too. Wow, this is really dumb. I'll fail at soldering for a while here. You pretty much have to heat it up. Yeah, heat the wire up and put it right on the wire. And then it'll go right in. If you don't have flux, don't solder. It's not even worth it. It'll be a huge globby disaster. Okay, so now you see you have your wires soldered together. Cool them off a little bit. Okay, then now they're like this. Bend one, if you can, bend the easier to bend one in, and then pull your heat shrink over top of it. You want to make sure it's cold before you pull your heat shrink, or before you touch it. I guess that's a better way of saying that. There. Okay, so find the middle of your heat shrink. It's about there. About like that. Okay. Grab a lighter. Melt your heat shrink. And then once I recover the red wire after losing it in the shroud, we'll continue on and finish the positive side of this connector. Blue was the daytime running light, so in this case dark green is going to be the signal. So pull this shroud back, strip. If you can't get just like whatever, however long that is, to work. Use more, and then after you've soldered it, cut it, and then make sure the solder stayed. So fan it out. Okay, put the fans on top of each other. Twist them so they interlock. Flux on them. Never hold this with the metal part. Heat up the wire. Just be patient. There we go. You can see as soon as the wire gets hot enough, it just goes everywhere. And I forgot to put the shrink wrap on, so that's awesome. So if you didn't shrink wrap it, you need to use electrical tape. So, same as before. The only thing left now is to deal with the blue wire for the running light, and I just sealed it up with a little bit of heat shrink. Alright. We put all our electrical tape and wrap everything back in. The tube, obviously it won't fit. So you take a piece of heat shrink, put it on there. That's why that end doesn't really matter, as long as it's covered. Put it over the middle of it like this. Now, you can choose to slide this down to cover this end, or you can choose to slide it up. It doesn't matter as long as we cover that. Heat shrink does become stiff when it's activated, so it will not be as easy to move the wire. Now, if you're like super worried about water getting in there, if you don't think you soldered it properly, or you don't think your heat shrink or your electrical tape is done, you can put a dab of silicone in here, let it set, and then activate the heat shrink. There we go. Black, right side. Right side of the bike. Okay. Left side of the bike, gray, black is ground, blue is running light, brown is going to be the source. Same thing. We can take our measurements from the other side. Worked out well. So I cut it about there. Okay, so these two twisted together. I'm not too sure where the memory card died. Put them down. Flux on them. Don't get flux on your hands, actually. Don't breathe in any of the fumes, especially using lead. So this one's a little long. It's easier to do them if they're longer, but you can just cut them. Just make sure that you're twisted and come apart. You can, well, you can't see, but it's actually, it appears to be one solid wire when it's soldered together. Alright, so the last thing here is brown to red for the left side of the bike. It's pretty basic. Once you've got that done, you need to deal with the blue, and then put your heat shrink all over the rest of them, and you're ready to put them back on the bike. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know in the comments section below, and I'll answer them as well as I can.